Being over 18 doesn't make you a man. It just makes you an adult male. A man is built. A male just ages. And most males spend their entire lives thinking time will turn them into something only character can create. This is the difference. And once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it. So let me show you the difference. Because once you see it, you can't unsee it. You'll recognize males pretending to be men everywhere. And more importantly, you'll know which one you are. And which one you need to become. First difference. A male does what he wants. A man does what's needed. Males are driven by desire, by impulse, by what feels good, what's fun, what's easy, what they want in the moment. They prioritize pleasure over responsibility, entertainment over obligation, comfort over duty. But men are driven by responsibility, by duty, by what needs to be done, whether they want to or not, whether it's fun or not, whether it's easy or not. They do what needs to be done because it needs to be done, not because they feel like it. Proverbs 20 verse 6 exposes this. Many a man proclaims his own steadfast love, but a faithful man who can find? Many proclaim. Few actually do. Lots of males talk about being responsible, about stepping up, about handling business. But when it's time to actually do it, they disappear. They're too tired, too busy, too stressed. They'll get to it later, tomorrow, next week, never. Men don't wait until they feel like it. They do what needs to be done when it needs to be done. They take out the trash without being asked, change the diaper without complaining, work the job they hate to provide for their family, show up even when they're tired, handle responsibilities they didn't create, because that's what men do. Males wait to be told, wait to feel motivated, wait until it's convenient. Men just do it. Second difference, a male takes. A man gives. Males are takers. They consume, extract. They take from their parents, take from their girlfriend, take from their employer, take from society. Always receiving, never contributing, always getting, never giving. But men are givers. They contribute, provide. They give to their family, give to their community, give to their church, give their time, their money, their energy, their life, always pouring out, always adding value, always making things better than they found them. Acts 20 verse 35 declares, "It is more blessed to give than to receive." More blessed to give. But males never learn that. They're still operating like children, expecting others to give to them, to meet their needs, to serve them, to make them comfortable. They're 40 years old and still taking from their mother, still using people, still extracting without contributing. Men understand that maturity means becoming a giver, not a taker. Means adding value, not just consuming it. Means leaving things better, not just using them up. Third difference, a male blames. A man takes responsibility. When something goes wrong, males immediately look for someone to blame. It's not their fault. It's their boss, their parents, the economy, the system, society. Someone else is always responsible for their problems. But men take responsibility, even when it's not entirely their fault, even when circumstances played a role, even when others contributed to the problem. Men own their part, fix what they can control, learn from what happened, and move forward. Proverbs 28 verse 13 warns, "Whoever conceals his transgressions will not prosper, but he who confesses and forsakes them will obtain mercy." Confess and forsake. Take ownership and change. That's what men do. But males conceal, deny, blame, justify, make excuses. And they stay exactly where they are. Because you can't fix what you won't own. Can't change what you won't acknowledge. Can't grow past what you keep blaming others for. Men understand that taking responsibility is the first step to taking control. As long as you're blaming others, you're powerless to change. But when you take responsibility, you take power. Fourth difference, a male lives for himself. A man lives for others. Males are selfish. Their decisions are based on what's best for them. What makes them happy? What serves their interests? What benefits them? They're the center of their own universe. and everyone else orbits around their needs, their wants, their preferences. But men live for something bigger than themselves. For their family, their purpose, their calling, their God. They make sacrifices, put others first, delay gratification, deny themselves, because they understand life isn't about them. Philippians 2 verses 3-4 commands, "Do nothing from selfish ambition or conceit, but in humility count others more significant than yourselves. Let each of you look not only to his own interests, but also to the interests of others." Count others more significant. That's manhood, but males can't do that. They're too focused on themselves, their comfort, their pleasure, their freedom, their happiness. They make decisions that benefit them even when it hurts others. Pursue what they want even when it costs their family. Choose themselves every time. Men make different calculations. They ask, "What's best for my family?" Not, "What do I want?" They ask, "What does my purpose require?" Not, "What will make me comfortable?" They sacrifice personal preference for greater good. Personal comfort for family welfare. Personal pleasure for purpose fulfillment. Fifth difference, a male reacts. A man responds. Males are reactive, emotional, impulsive. Something happens and they react. Someone offends them and they explode. Something goes wrong and they panic. Someone challenges them and they lash out. They're controlled by their emotions, driven by impulses, slaves to reactions. But men are responsive, thoughtful, controlled. Something happens and they assess. Someone offends them and they choose their response. Something goes wrong and they problem solve. Someone challenges them and they address it calmly. They control their emotions instead of being controlled by them. Proverbs 16 verse 32 says, "Whoever is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he who rules his spirit than he who takes a city." Rules his spirit. That's a man. Self-controlled. Master of his emotions. In command of his reactions. But males are ruled by their spirit. Their anger controls them. Their lust drives them. Their fear paralyzes them. Their pride guides them. They're not in control. They're being controlled. Men create space between stimulus and response. They don't react immediately. They think, assess. They respond based on principle, not emotion. Based on wisdom, not impulse. Based on what's right, not what feels good. Sixth difference, a male seeks comfort. A man embraces discipline. Males organize their entire life around comfort, avoiding pain, minimizing effort, maximizing pleasure. They choose the easy path, the comfortable option, the path of least resistance, every single time. But men embrace discipline. They choose the hard path because it builds character. Choose discomfort because it creates growth. Choose sacrifice because it produces results. They understand that nothing worthwhile comes from comfort. Everything valuable requires discipline. Hebrews 12 verse 11 explains, "For the moment all discipline seems painful rather than pleasant, but later it yields the peaceful fruit of righteousness to those who have been trained by it." Discipline yields fruit, but it's painful in the moment. Males can't handle that pain, so they choose comfort and get no fruit. Men endure the pain and reap the fruit. Males hit snooze. Men get up. Males eat whatever's convenient. Men fuel their body properly. Males skip the gym. Men train consistently. Males avoid hard conversations. Men address issues directly. Males take the easy path. Men take the right path. Seventh difference, a male has sex. A man makes love. Males use women for physical pleasure, for validation, for ego, for release. Women are objects to them, tools for their gratification, sources of pleasure with no consideration for the person, the relationship, or the consequences. But men honor women, commit to them, protect them, value them as image bearers of God, not objects for consumption. Men understand that sexuality is sacred, reserved for covenant, connected to commitment, part of the marriage design. 1 Thessalonians 4 verses 3-5 commands, "For this is the will of God, your sanctification, that you abstain from sexual immorality, that each one of you know how to control his own body in holiness and honor, not in the passion of lust like the Gentiles who do not know God. Control his body in holiness and honor. That's a man. But males can't control their body. They're controlled by lust, driven by passion, slaves to sexual impulses. They use, discard, move on. No honor, no commitment, no self-control. Men value women too much to use them, respect themselves too much to be slaves to lust, honor God too much to violate his design. Eighth difference: a male quits when it's hard. A man pushes through when it's hard. Males are quitters. They start things, get excited, make declarations. But when it gets difficult, when obstacles appear, when progress slows, they quit. New job, new relationship, new goal, new city, always starting, never finishing. But men are finishers. They commit and follow through. They start and complete. They promise and deliver. When it gets hard, they don't quit. They push harder. When obstacles appear, they don't turn back. They overcome. When progress slows, they don't give up. They persist. 2 Timothy 4 verse 7 describes Paul's life. I have fought the good fight, I have finished the race, I have kept the faith. Finished the race. That's a man. Not just started. Finished. Not just tried. Completed. Not just talked about it. Did it. But males start 100 races. Finish none. Make 1,000 promises. Keep few. Begin countless projects. Complete nothing. Men finish what they start. Keep their word. Follow through. Because their character is more important than their comfort. Their commitment is stronger than their feelings. Ninth difference: a male needs a mother. A man becomes a father. Males never fully leave their mother. Not physically necessarily, but emotionally, psychologically. They still need someone to take care of them, make their decisions, solve their problems, clean up their mess. They're adults who still function like children. But men leave their mother and become fathers. Not just biologically, functionally. They go from being taken care of to taking care of others. From needing protection to providing protection. From consuming resources to creating resources. From being dependent to being depended on. Genesis 2 verse 24 describes this transition. Therefore a man shall leave his father and his mother and hold fast to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. A man shall leave. That's the transition from male to man. Leaving dependence. Entering independence, then interdependence. Becoming the source instead of the drain. The provider instead of the consumer. Males in their 30s still living off their parents. Still expecting others to fix their problems. Still needing someone to manage their life. Still functioning as dependents. But men become the one others depend on. The provider. The protector. The father. 10th difference: a male follows the crowd. A man leads himself. Males need the crowd's approval. They do what everyone else is doing. Believe what everyone else believes. Follow where everyone else is going. They're terrified of standing alone. Of being different. Of going against popular opinion. But men think for themselves. Make their own decisions. Form their own convictions. Chart their own course. They're willing to stand alone when everyone else is wrong. Go against the crowd when the crowd is going the wrong direction. Be unpopular when popularity requires compromise. Exodus 23 verse 2 warns, "You shall not fall in with the many to do evil, nor shall you bear witness in a lawsuit, siding with the many, so as to pervert justice." Don't follow the many into evil. Don't side with the crowd if they're wrong. That takes courage. The courage of a man. Males don't have that courage. They follow, conform, comply, even when it's wrong. Because fitting in is more important than standing firm. Men lead, even if it's just leading themselves. They decide what's right and do it, regardless of who's following, regardless of who approves, regardless of what the crowd is doing. So here's the question. Are you a male or a man? Be honest. Do you do what you want or what's needed? Do you take or give? Do you blame or take responsibility? Do you live for yourself or others? Do you react or respond? Do you seek comfort or embrace discipline? Do you use women or honor them? Do you quit when it's hard or push through? Do you need a mother or are you becoming a father? Do you follow the crowd or lead yourself? Your answers reveal which one you are. And if you're honest, you'll see areas where you're still functioning as a male when you should be a man. We all have them. Areas where we're immature, selfish, irresponsible, undisciplined, reactive, comfortable. But here's the good news. You can change. You can grow up. You can transition from male to man. Not overnight. Not easily. But intentionally. Deliberately. By choosing manhood over maleness. Responsibility over comfort. Discipline over impulse. Giving over taking. Leading over following. Start today. Pick one area where you're functioning as a male. And start functioning as a man in that area. Do what needs to be done without being asked. Take responsibility for something you've been blaming on others. Give something without expecting anything back. Respond instead of react. Choose discipline over comfort. Honor instead of use. Finish instead of quit. Lead instead of follow. Do it today. Do it tomorrow. Do it every day. And slowly, gradually, consistently, you'll transition from male to man. From boy to adult. From consumer to contributor. From taker to giver. From dependent to depended on. The world has enough males. We need men. Real men. Men who take responsibility. Who give sacrificially. Who lead courageously. Who live with integrity. Who honor God and others. Who finish what they start. Who stand alone if necessary. Who grow up and step up. Be that man. Not that male. Make the transition. Grow up. Step up. Become the man God created you to be. Not just the male you were born as. The difference between a male and a man is massive. And it's time for you to be on the right side of that difference.